طيب بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. المعقد 11 صيانة العلم عمن يشين مما يخالف المروءة ويخرمها. So the 11th chapter, basically protecting your knowledge from that which will disgrace it, or disobeying or going against the norms or the respectable characteristics of the society. That's called muru'ah. فمن لم يصن العلم لم يصنه العلم كما قال الشافعي رحمه الله تعالى ومن أخل بالمروءة بالوقوع فيما يشين فقد استخف بالعلم فلم يعظمه ووقع في البطالة فتفضي به الحال إلى زوال اسم العلم عنه. So he said, whoever doesn't protect their knowledge, knowledge won't protect him. And as Shafi'i rahimahullah, he says, alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah, whoever goes against like the norms or the civility or the honorable characteristics that people are used to, he will kind of like take knowledge lightly, and he's not respecting knowledge, and he will end up into like a disgraceful state, and knowledge or the name of knowledge upon him will leave him. So muru'ah is like basically some things. He'll give you some descriptions here, but it's basically like the civil norms of society, that it might not be haram to do it, but it's not befitting of a student of knowledge or a person of respect to do it. So if a student of knowledge or a sheikh does these acts, it kind of like removes the muru'ah or the honor or the respect from him, and then the sheikh is saying this is one of the ways to also lose knowledge. قال وهب ابن منبه رحمه الله لا يكون البطال من الحكماء. So al-battal is the one who is like the crash dummy, basically, like the one who goes in either any which way, like he's not taking ilm seriously, he's not like he's able to joke a lot or do things that are not appropriate per se for a student of knowledge. So those people, they said they won't be from the wise ones, because if a person, like if you see a scholar or a person of knowledge doing the things that, for example, young children will do or disrespectful people will do, you kind of lose your respect for that person, So that's the point of protecting your knowledge and protecting the muru'ah that you have. Even as a Muslim in general, like certain things you shouldn't say in public, especially if you're in a position of authority, or if you're a teacher or in a respectable position, you have to be careful, like you have to hold yourself to higher standards. You can't just say anything or do anything because you're in the public eye. It might be okay for the normal Joe to do whatever, but as you are in a position of a student of knowledge or teacher of knowledge, or some type of imam or in a high position in a organization, Islamic organization, you have to carry yourself with that, thinking that the eyes of the people are upon you. So you can't just take these type of behaviors lightly. And he says in a poem, لا يدرك العلم بطال ولا كسل ولا ملول ولا من يألف البشر. So knowledge is not attained by the one who is, like I said, the one who's like too playful or joking or, going against these characteristics of honor and respect, or the lazy one, or the one who gets bored easily, or the one who has too much friends, too many companions, like he interacts too much with people. These type of people with these characteristics won't be able to achieve knowledge. وجماع المروء كما قال ابن تيمية رحمه الله الجد في المحرر وتبعه حفيده في بعض فتاوى استعمال ما يحمله أو يجمله ويزينه وتجنب ما يدنسه ويشينه. So Ibn Taymiyyah, Al-Jadd, the grandfather of Ibn Taymiyyah, the scholar that we all know, he's the one who wrote Al-Muharrar, which is a book in hadith, a collection of hadith and ahkam, over 2,000 hadith, and it covers all the different chapters of fiqh, basically. That's the grandfather of Ibn Taymiyyah that we know, the popular one. He said both of them, they gave this kind of advice, saying that holding to muru'ah, what is muru'ah? Is basically doing those things that beautify you or hold you in high regards, and staying away from those things that corrupt you or make you look shameful in front of the people. That's what muru'ah is, his definition. قيل لأبي محمد سفيان بن عيينة قد استنبطت من القرآن كل شيء فأين المروءة فيه قال في قوله تعالى خذوا العفو وأمر بالعرف وأعرض عن الجاهلين. Imam Sufyan ibn Uyayna rahimahullah, he was asked by one of his students that I've read the Quran completely and I don't find in it al-muru'ah, the word that we're talking about now. Where can I find it? And he said it's in the ayah خُذُ الْعَفُوَ وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Have forgiveness and encourage the good, al-urf, or act. Al-urf also can be interpreted as the custom of the people. So don't go against the customs of the people. In some societies, for example, it's basically befitting to cover your head when you go outside the house. So if you're a person of knowledge, especially, or a person in high position, you shouldn't go out of your house with your head uncovered. For example, just other societies, it's disliked to eat outside in public. So if you want to follow the muru'ah, you stick with the norms of the society. So urf can also mean the customs of the people. Also, it means ma'ruf, to enjoin the good. وَعَرِضْ عَنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ, and turn away from the ignorant ones. So Sufyan ibn Uyayna rahimahullah is defining al-muru'ah with this ayah here. Enjoining or being forbearing and forgiving, having that kind of shyness also, and encouraging the good, and what's enjoined with the society you live in as good, and staying away from the ignorant ones. وحسن الآداب ومكارم الأخلاق. In this is the good character, or the good manners, and the best of akhlaq, if you follow this ayah here. ومن ألزم أدب النفس للطالب تحيله بالمروء وما يحمل عليها وتكنبه خوارمها التي تخل بها كحلق اللحية فقد عده في خوارم المروءة. ابن حجر الهيثمي من الشافعية وابن عابدين من الحنفية. And whoever accompanies always the good manners, like staying, basically following the sunnah, and following the good customs of your people that you live with, you will have this muru'ah. You will be respected and you will be held in high regard. And anytime you go against those, then you will be losing the respect of the people and losing this custom of having proper etiquette. And he says, like, for example, he mentioned that shaving the beard completely is seen as makharan muru'ah from Ibn Hajar from the Shafi'iyah, and Ibn Abidin from the Hanafiyah. They see this as a person who has lost his muru'ah. Also, amongst the scholars, they won't accept the hadith from this person. They won't take their narrations. And some of the mahakim and the judging places where they do Sharia, Islamic law, they won't accept them as a witness as well. So it can also lead, it's not just sometimes something that's not only not haram, but it's something to a level that might be like taking you out of respectful citizenship as well. Also, some of the scholars, they saw like Ibn Shihab al-Zuhri wa Ibrahim al-Nakhai from the earlier generations, they would see the person who looks around too much from makharim al-muru'ah. Makharim al-muru'ah means breaking the muru'ah, breaking these good characteristics that you're supposed to have as a respectful citizen of the society. So they saw, Ibrahim al-Nakhai and Ibn Shihab rahimahumullah saw that looking around too much is from the makharim al-muru'ah. Like if you're looking around in the streets all the time, or looking at people's houses and stuff like that, it's considered like you're kind of being disrespectful. Because when you're looking around too much, it's like you're spying almost, or you might see something that you're not supposed to be looking at. You might get into people's business that you shouldn't have any business knowing about, these type of things. So they saw that. That's another example they had in the past of makharim al-muru'ah. Also, some scholars, they say like putting your legs outstretched in a public gathering. Like just sitting like, back like this with your legs, your feet pointing in a direction of the people, or outstretched like that, like crossing your legs over each other. Some of the scholars in the past would see that as makharim al-muru'ah. Or khawarim al-muru'ah, sorry. Like Imam al-Ghazali and others. Also, accompanying bad company, like having people that are fusaq, or people that were like, the unemployed ones that are just like street hustlers, or people that just stay in the street all the time, and like, not having bad company can also be seen as khawarim al-muru'ah as well. keeping bad company. And this is said by Al-Qadi Ayad and Al-Husubi and Abu Bakr ibn Tayyib rahimahumullah ta'ala. So also some scholars, they consider doing the small sins continuously or in the open as also something that is from the khawarim al-muru'ah as well, right? ومن أخل بمروءته وهو ينتسب إلى العلم فقد افتضح عند الخاص والعام ولم ينل من شرف العلم إلا الحطام. He said the one who continuously breaks these, proper etiquette or proper characteristics of society is the one who has disgraced himself and disgraced the knowledge he possessed, and he won't be honored with the knowledge anymore, and he will not achieve anything except debris like trash or destruction and hutam, right? This is what happens when somebody decides to not act appropriately in the public eye. So like I said, this is for generally Muslims in general, but even more so for a student of knowledge or a teacher of knowledge or a person like in a company that has a high position. You don't want to act like foolishly in front of others, especially nowadays when we have social media and everything is recorded. How many people that were considered people of knowledge or students of knowledge or callers to Islam, for something they put out there on the internet, or something that got recorded without their permission got put out there on the internet, and then they lost their reputation for that. So especially in modern times, one has to be extra careful not to just say or do anything out in the public, right? Because first and foremost, we have the angels that we tend to forget about on our with us 24/7, writing down everything we say and everything we do. So first and foremost, Allah is watching us. Secondly, you have the public, and nowadays it's so easy to record and video and everything. People you don't even know, they're recording you, they're taking pictures of you, and you could be saying or doing something out in the public that you'll regret, but was recorded and it was published. So if you're embarrassed to do it in front of everybody, don't do it in front of even a small group of people, right? And if you want something to be recorded about you, think of what you're going to say before you say it. Think of what you're going to do before you do it. May Allah protect us. We have enough to worry about in terms of the akhirah, but we don't have disgrace in the dunya. So that's why we ask for sitr and protection. That's the gist of this chapter 11. If you guys want to come back after Isha, we can do the next chapter, which kind of goes along with it because it talks about having good company in seeking knowledge, or having a good companion, someone to help you along with seeking knowledge. So if you want, we can pause here if you have any comments or questions. So what do you guys think would be from the khawarim al-muru'ah from our time or this society? It's probably very few, but there might be something. How about a person of knowledge, like that you respect or something, posting inappropriate stuff online or joking too much? Do you think that would be considered from the khawarim al-muru'ah? Yes. Yeah?
How about like the brothers? Like I noticed like some brothers, they will like post like they're like they'll post like pictures of like girls, like new fashion, like tight jeans and turbans, and saying, oh, go support the sister by buying her her merch and stuff like that. Like, is that like acceptable? Like I one time I even mentioned, I was like, I don't think like you're a person that like people look up to, like my girls or my kids or other people, boys, and like you encouraging women to dress like this, it's really not appropriate, I mean, that's fine, you sisters are dressing like, wearing stuff like that, but you as a brother shouldn't be encouraging and promoting stuff like this on your page.
Yeah.
It was just not kind of acceptable.
Yeah, that could be considered from it too. I mean, just even like talking about other sisters in general online, like that's something iffy for me. And and also some sisters too, like we have a living generation that's so people like post everything about themselves, and you got to be careful because first of all, especially sisters, they might change the way they dress afterwards. They might get married, want to get married, and their husbands see certain things online that is not appropriate, you know, and then
And even if it's 20 years, 30 years,
it stays there. Yeah, you have it there. Yeah, I know a lot of stories like that. You know, people.
The craziest thing is like even if you try to give an advice, for instance, a sister,
Yeah.
you like you try to be like as nice as you can without hurting her feelings, and then you'll be like, even privately or even like just underneath of the picture, just to be like, maybe it's not really okay to like put, the way you dress and stuff like that. Maybe you shouldn't be posting it, and then like people literally attack you.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy. Like you can now. I feel like you can't say anything to anyone.
Yeah, there's too much political correctness. Yeah, it's difficult, unfortunately. Like the Prophet ﷺ, he said, the end of times, يَجْعَلَ الْحَلِيمَ حَيْرَانًا. Like it will make the person that's halim, the one that's like shy or forbearing or, good characteristic, make him like almost crazy, like because there's so much fitna in the times, at the end of times, that people get confused, he gets so confused about what's right, what's wrong. Like you start, some people start doubting themselves, like wait, maybe I'm wrong, because they're holding tight to the sunnah and everything else is against it, so it's just the time.
That's where we are right now.
Yeah, I mean the whole purpose of hijab, I thought, is for the woman to, cover herself modestly, appropriately. So sometimes when I see like these like fashionistas, I guess, or like, basically, I'm seeing aura basically because sometimes they're cut up jeans, sometimes their hair is all coming out, and like I'm like, what's the point? Like why? I mean, I thought you're supposed to. It's for modesty. So.
Like my 7-year-old, when she turned 7, I tried to explain to her about hijab and stuff like that, and tried to tell her like it's a practice right now. Like you don't have to, but it's kind of a good thing. So when you get a little older, it'll be easier for you.
Mm.
And now she's kind of going to like different activities in different masjid, and a lot of her girls her age don't wear it.
Right.
And then she'll come home and it's like, well, that girl doesn't wear it. Her mom says she doesn't have to. So, do you think kind of it's weird that I'm wearing my scarf and they're like 10? And I'm like,
Yes.
no, it's not weird, like I have to sit like and explain.
But it's better to start at a tender age.
Yeah.
Than, for example, these girls, her age, that she sees them not wearing it, when they become in their teens, 17, 18, it's going to be harder for the parent to tell them.
And I tried to tell her, explain to her that, yeah.
When Sarah started to wear, I never imposed her, I never said you have to wear it.
Yeah.
She came to me and she said, I want to wear it.
MashaAllah.
But I told her, once you put it on, it's not coming off.
My mom said the same thing to me when I was 15. She's like, once you put it on,
And
you
ever
never take it off.
since, so it's, you don't pressure them and, make it like, because they will run away from it. But you talk to them and reason with them and make them understand.
Yeah.
But it's good that you started at a tender age.
Like over the summer when it was so hot, she'll be like, I'm so hot. It's okay, can I take it off? I'm like, of course you can take it off,
We'll have some quick questions when we come back.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.